Hello BookTube, Sarah here and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with my March 2020 anticipated reads. I love doing these videos every month, and yes, I did miss doing this video in January for February because of circumstance of personal family. We had a death in the family. I don't want to start crying again, so I'm not going to get into it, but for those of you who've been watching me for a little while know what happened. So not a lot of videos got filmed in January. So anyway, but I am back now in March, for March videos, I should say, or February videos to talk about my anticipated reads for March. So if you are new to my channel, how I work these anticipated reads videos is that I spend a lot of time on Amazon. I love going on Amazon and looking at the books that are coming soon. And I have wish lists created, and when I come across a book that sounds or looks good, I end up adding it to a wish list, and I have those wish lists broken down by month. Yes, I am that organized. And then what I do is, when I get ready to film one of these videos is, I sit down and I look at all those books on that wish list for that particular month, and I pick the 5 that I am most interested in, and the 5 that I want to share with you guys that I think deserve you to look into as well. Obviously, I have not read any of these books. I do my best every month as well to not include books that I actually have for review. But I think in this case, bear with, I had already put this list together about a week ago. I was actually going to film this last week, but I still wasn't 100% back into it yet. So we're filming this. This should have come out last week, but it's of course coming out this week. But anyway, one of the books, and I didn't want to go in and change it, I do now have to read. The publisher did send it to me last week, but that's okay. I'm going to share it with you guys anyway, even though I am going to get to read it and talk about it in March. So let's jump into the books, and I talk about these in order of release date. So first of all, coming out on March the 3rd, 2 days before my birthday, in case anyone is interested, is The Two Lives of Lydia Bird, and this is by Josie Silver. As soon as I saw this one, I actually saw this one on Bookstagram. A lot of people were hauling it that they got it from the publisher, an advanced copy from the publisher. I did put a request in through NetGalley, but I haven't heard back yet. There's still a chance. And I am a big fan of Josie Silver. It was December of 2018. It was December of 2018 that I read One Day in December by this author, and I really, really enjoyed it. So this one is about a woman by the name of Lydia, and it's The Two Lives of Lydia Bird. And essentially what it is, and this isn't giving anything away, it's right on the back of the book, is that she is with this guy named Freddie, and the two of them have been together for a long time, and it's always been Lydia and Freddie kind of an idea. And then on her 28th birthday, he dies in a car accident. And she is inconsolable. You know, she's going through all the grief processes and things like that. And then there's a touch, obviously, of magical realism in this book because something happens and now she is living 2 lives in parallel with each other. So in one life, they say she's going through a door. I don't know whether that's a metaphysical door or a physical door. And she goes back to if Freddie didn't die and what her life would be like. And then to the life that actually is happening with him dead and how her life is going on. And this just sounds so intriguing to me. I really want to pick it up. If by the time the 3rd of March comes around and I don't get a copy from NetGalley, that will be fine. I am going to go ahead and grab a copy on the Kindle to read, and I might have to read it right away in March because I am super, super excited about it. Next up on my list, coming out on March 17th on St. Patrick's Day, is The Sea Glass Cottage by Rayanne Thane. If a new Rayanne Thane book comes out, it automatically has to get added to a list. This one sounds so good. This is more of a women's fiction novel to me than it would be a contemporary romance, as it doesn't even state anything really about a romance on the back of the book. So this is about a woman by the name of Olivia, and she is working 16-hour workdays, and she's got an off-again, on-again boyfriend, and then she hears that her estranged mother is in a car accident. So she goes back to her old hometown to look after and help her mother recover. During this time as well, she is dealing with her orphaned niece. Her older sister fell into addiction and ended up dying from, it sounds like, an overdose. And her daughter is now a teenager. So her niece is a teenager. And this story revolves around the three women, Olivia, her mother, and her niece, and the secrets they're keeping and, you know, secrets being revealed. I just love a good family story, and something especially involving mothers and daughters and nieces and aunts as well. I'm super close to both of my aunts, or all of my aunts, I should say, all three of them. And, you know, this is right up my alley, kind of an idea. And I'm super excited about it. I think this one is also going to get pre-ordered. I did not see this one come up on NetGalley, but I think I'm definitely going to go ahead and pre-order it because it is definitely one that I need to read. Next up, coming out on March 24th, is This Thing Called Love by Sarah Richardson. You guys know, if you've been watching me for a while, I am a huge fan of Sarah Richardson. She is another auto-buy author for me. This is book number 2 in the Forget-Me-Not Ranch. And this one also involves a car accident. This is totally unintentional, you guys. I can guarantee you, though, that not all the books involve a car accident, because the last book is a historical. So unless it's like something in the future, it probably doesn't involve a car accident. But in this story, our male lead, whose name is Kyler, his brother and sister-in-law are killed in a car accident, and he gets custody of his niece. So he is kind of learning how to deal with suddenly being a father, or a father figure for this little girl. And she hasn't spoken in the 3 months since the accident. So of course that is something that he's dealing with. His friend Nash invites him to come and stay at this place called the Forget-Me-Not Ranch. While he's there, he meets up with a woman by the name of, what is her name? Emery, which is actually a very pretty name. I really like that. And she is she has just returned from deployment in the Middle East. She's an army vet turned animal caretaker. And she shows up with her dog, whose name is Cupid. And I guess the little girl befriends the dog, and I have a feeling the dog is going to have something to do with getting the little girl to talk again. This sounds absolutely delightful. It's Sarah Richardson. Our male lead, Kyler, is also he's a decorated bull rider as well. So cowboy, hello. This one sounds fantastic. I absolutely cannot wait to read it. This one has already been pre-ordered, and it's going to be fantastic, I'm sure. The next book comes out on March the 31st, and it's The Final Deception by Heather Graham. This is book number 5 in the New York Confidential series. If you guys obviously have been watching me again for a while, you know I am a huge, huge fan of Heather Graham. I love all of her work, most of it. Some of her older stuff, a little to be desired. Some of her old historicals. I know the girls on the Heaving Bosoms podcast did this great one on One War Blue that she wrote many, many, many moons ago about the Civil War, and it was, the book is not very good, but their review of it, if you want a good laugh, definitely listen to that on the Heaving Bosoms podcast. But anyway, sorry, that was a side note. So this book, like I said, comes out March 31st, and this is a more rare instance within romantic suspense novels, in the fact that this story follows, or this series, excuse me, follows the same 2 main characters, Kiernan and Craig. They met in the first book, where they ended up getting together, spoiler alert, and then the rest of the books follow different cases that they go on. Now, a lot of you might know Heather Graham from her more famous and longer running series, which is The Crew of Hunters, which is hands down one of my favorite series, and I believe there's 3 new books coming out in that series this year, and I cannot wait. But that one is a more of a paranormal series, whereas this series is definitely a police procedural. I believe Kiernan is a psychologist and Craig is an FBI agent. So this is essentially just another case that they are investigating, and it's with a killer by the name of the Fireman. And this person was locked up in prison years ago, and then they go and investigate a crime that has all the hallmarks from this man's work, for lack of a better word, for, you know, the crimes that he committed. And then they very quickly learn that he actually broke out of jail. So it's them trying to catch this man named the Fireman. So it sounds really good. Again, it's a Heather Graham. I love her work. Absolutely looking forward to delving back into this series. I think I've read the first 2, so I still need to do some catching up before I get to this book, but it is definitely one that I am anticipating. And the last book that I want to share with you also comes out on March 31st, and this is The Most Eligible Lord in London by Ella Quinn. This is book number 1 in the Lords of London trilogy. This is the book that I have from NetGalley to read, and I cannot wait. So this sounds like it's going to be a spin-off series of a previous series by this author called the Worthington series. It says on here, it says, picks up where the beloved Worthington series left off. I do not know if you had to have read one to read the other. To me, this sounds like it could absolutely be a standalone novel. So it's about a man whose name is Frederick, and he is a lord, and he is very rakish and all those typical things that we're used to in, you know, more modern, I know this sounds funny, more modern historical romances. And a woman by the name of, sorry, I want to make sure I get her name right here, Adeline. So Adeline and Frederick. And he's, like I said, a rake, and she is keeping him at arm's length during her first season in London. And then she overhears during a ball this other woman who wants to trick him into marriage. And even though she doesn't much like him, she decides, I'm going to at least warn him that this is about to happen. So she does. And then the two of them, I guess, decide to strike up like a friendship of sorts, and then, you know, romance ensues. Sounds really, really good. Again, I have it from NetGalley, so I'm hoping to get to it in March, so you guys will get my review on it in March. But if you like historical romance, Ella Quinn, to be completely honest, if I have read her, it's been a while. But I've heard a lot of people rave about her work, which is one of the reasons that I requested this book on NetGalley, because I am always looking to try new historical romance authors. So if you have read Ella Quinn, please do let me know your thoughts on her as a writer, because I'd love to know that. Anyway, guys, that is all that I have for this video today. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments below, do any of these books sound good to you? Have you already pre-ordered any of them because you've already heard about them? Or what book that I didn't mention are you most looking forward to coming out in March? And until my next video, everyone, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys.